the first two words that I gave were crawdaddy and poppycock.
You're listening to the Game and Party Podcast, where we cover the latest board game news and share our love of gaming. On this episode, you'll learn how you can win a free copy of Frosthaven from the Game and Party Podcast. And we talk about social distancing. Welcome to the Game and Party Podcast, episode 39. And I'm your host, Mike Davis, and with me tonight, I have my always amazing co-host, the captain himself, Mr. Mike Kirk.
Hello there.
And the always amazing Mr. Charlie Cordova.
Hey there.
And the always lovely Miss Erica Renzel.
Hi, everybody.
All right. Thanks, guys, for being here. I know this has been a trying time for a lot of people. Unless you're living under a rock somewhere, you know that there is a pandemic going on. The coronavirus, or COVID-19, has really put a damper on board games in the world. We are practicing social distancing. Everybody is staying home, staying away from big groups, trying to slow the spread of the virus so we do not overwhelm our healthcare system. And that is a good thing. Everybody should be doing that. You guys, Kirk, Charlie, Erica, you guys have all been practicing social distancing, right? You haven't been to my house, I know.
Nope. I've been social distancing even more than normal.
All right. Well, I hope all of you are staying home and not going out because it's very important to help us slow the spread of this virus. I did see something online the other day. It said, extroverts don't know what's going on. Introverts, we can help you. Usually it's the other way around. The introverts are like, we know how to do this. This is what we do all the time. So, so I've been stuck at home, but we still get a chance to play some games. Now, my situation is a little different than some others. I know, Eric, I know you live alone. Some other people I know live alone. Some people have their kids at home. Charlie, I know you have your kids there. And then we have people like myself. I'm married and I have 2 kids, so I have 4 people in the house. So we can still get a 4-player game in sometimes with the family, but that's about it.
That's still good. You have a go-to game group right there.
That's pretty good.
Yep. And the nice thing is, because most of the time my kids are never home. They're always out at their friends' houses and whatever. But now, because of the social distancing, they're kind of stuck at home. And it's like, oh, let's play a board game. And usually they're like, oh, whatever. Okay, fine. Now they're like, can we play a board game? I'm so bored. I'm so tired of watching Netflix. We're like, yes.
You're like, this is great.
Yeah, exactly. So
we did. I did with my kids, and their mother came over, and we did. We played a few things, little things. We played Letter Jam,
nice,
which they liked.
And I'm a big fan of party games, and I like abstract games where you're giving clues to someone and trying to get them to guess things, kind of like code names and Letter Jam. But this one is a game called Pictures. This one, in my opinion, has flown under the radar. It's been out for, I don't know, I think it came out June or July of last year. It's called Pictures. That's just the name of it. And you put out a grid of cards, 4x4, it's like code names, instead of 5x5, 4x4. And every person is given a bag of materials. One person is given 4 stones and 4 sticks. One person is given a deck of tarot cards, not really tarot cards, just random pictures. And one person is given 2 shoestrings. And one person is given, what's the other one? A set of blocks, like building blocks, where they're all different shapes. And then everybody draws a token out of the bag that tells them which row and column is there. So the rows are labeled, A, B, C, D, and then the columns are 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you draw a token out of the bag, you may get, B3. And that's your picture. But there are multiple of the tokens in the bag. So in a 4-player game, everybody could get the same picture. Because there's 4 tokens of each one in the bag, which is pretty neat. Anyway, so you draw your token out, you look at it, and then you try to recreate the picture with whatever medium you have. If you have the shoestrings, you lay them out to try to redraw the picture. If you have the building blocks, you try to lay them out to rebuild. It is hilarious. It's great. It's fun. Everybody's building at the same time, so there's no downtime. And then when everybody's done, you say, all right, I'm done. Everybody's done. And then you write down on your sheet your guesses for everybody's pictures. And then you reveal. And if you get it right, you get a point. If someone got your picture right, you get a point. And whoever has the most points at the end wins. So that's the competitive way to play it. That's the way we played with the kids now, going around the table like that. But once we get a big group together, like another group of 20 people or 30 people over at the house after all this crap is done, and we play this game, I want to play it like code names. I want to have like 2 clue givers. They draw out of the bag, and they got to get their team to guess it based on the medium. And the medium, we just cycle those through. I think it would be hilarious and fun and a great group game. So that is pictures. And I did not look up who the.
And the pictures that are in the grid, they're just like normal. It's like a boot, a tree, a fire truck kind of thing.
That is correct. So the pictures, I would say most of the pictures are like landscapes and things like that. Pictures of like a lighthouse. There's a picture of like a padlock hanging on a fence, but there's a tree in the background too.
Okay. So it's not just like simple items. Like
no. This is real pictures. This is like photographs of things.
Oh wow.
There's a picture of this big snowy white field, and in the middle of it there's an umbrella sitting in it. It's upside down and colorful, things like that. There's a picture of a butterfly, a picture of a train, all those different. But then they're all straight up pictures. The publisher is PD Verlag, and also in America Rio Grande Games. The artist is Dominic Mayer, and the designers are Christian and Daniela Storr. If I said that right. Anyway, one of my favorite new games. It is at the top of my list for favorite games now. I have loved it. It is so much fun to play, and we played it over and over again. A lot of fun. So I would highly recommend Pictures from Rio Grande Games. There you go. All right, so I know we've all been playing other games online. Kirk, what have you been playing recently?
Yeah, we had a group of 4. It was David Mann and his friends again. Previously, we'd played a lot of Root, but this time we wanted to teach him something new. The 2 his buddies were new to gaming, so we broke out Imhotep.
Nice.
Yep. So I knew how to play the game, so I taught it. So if you're unfamiliar with it, you're an Egyptian builder, and you take your big blocks from a quarry onto a boat, and you go to a marketplace to get cards, or you go to a space to build a pyramid, an actual pyramid, or an obelisk, or a tower, or a burial chamber. And it's quick to teach. It takes like 10 minutes or so, maybe even less. And it was actually really good for manipulating these big blocks and building. The only thing we had a little trouble with was building the pyramid. You had 4 hands trying to take their things off the boat, so that was a little tricky. It got a little interesting, but they caught on pretty quickly, and they enjoyed it. So Imhotep is great digitally. It's great in the physical version. And that's by Cosmos Games, if you're looking for it online, by Phil Walker.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Imhotep. I played that many times. That's a lot of fun. And so this is on Tabletop Simulator, right?
Correct.
And so how, other than the picking up the cubes, everything else pretty smooth and pretty easy to learn?
Yeah, the boats are big enough, and you can even make the objects bigger if you can't read. Some of the cards we had to make bigger so you can read them, which is nice. So you don't need a magnifying glass. You don't have to kind of peek into the screen. And yeah, that's one of the benefits, too, of a digital game.
So you can just decide to make the cards bigger?
Yeah, you can if you want to. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Nice.
And you can, like, I think if you hover over it and you hit Alt, it, like, pops up. It fills the screen.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
How was it to do the teach on Tabletop Simulator, Kirk? Because I know when I've been playing, we've been trying to play games that people know, just to kind of ease the process a little bit.
Well, Imhotep is kind of self-explanatory because the directions are kind of right there. We went over each individual area. We showed them how the boats would move and how they'd start in the Nile area and how you'd load a cube and how the boats worked. So it wasn't too bad. Definitely, it's one of the easier games to teach. I don't know if I could teach something a lot harder. But definitely go into a game with somebody who knows it and who knows the rules and things like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Well, I was going to say, I played Cartographers yesterday on Tabletop Simulator, and there were 4 of us, and one person had never played before, so I had to teach it as well. And it was interesting. I mean, I think it went all right.
Yeah, I think if someone's never played any of these modern board games, it could be tough. But if they played some more of the modern games, then learning it online, I don't think would be that hard. Just in my opinion, I don't know. But I have not had to try to teach anything online myself yet. But I wouldn't mind doing it though. So, what about you, Erica? What have you been playing?
I got to play the Great Zimbabwe. This is available online at boardgamecore.net. And this site's pretty neat because it actually has 3 Splotter games that are available to play online. So you can do Antiquity, Food Chain Magnate, or the Great Zimbabwe. The Great Zimbabwe plays 2 to 5 in about 2 hours. It's designed by Horan Duam and Horace Warsinga. And again, it's published by Splotter Spellin. So in this game, you're a tribal leader in Africa, and what you're trying to do is please the gods by constructing monuments using various goods. So this is a logistics and economic type game, but the neat thing about it is it's also a race game. So in order to win, you need to be the player that gets to their victory point requirement first. But the neat thing about the game is that this victory point requirement varies per player. So during the game, you can become more powerful by worshiping a certain god that might grant you a special ability, but that will increase your victory point requirement to win. Or you could take a craftsman, which again increases your functions during the game, but your victory point requirement will go up to win. So it's kind of neat because you need to balance the abilities that you want during the game versus how difficult you're going to make it for you to win compared to other players. So the game occurs over 4 different phases, and it just keeps going around until someone meets their victory point requirement. And in the first phase, you're basically bidding to determine turn order, and this is done with cattle. They're basically the currency in the game. And turn order is huge in this game because there's a limited amount of resources, and it's very unforgiving. If you get shut out of those resources, you could basically lose an entire turn. So the bidding for turn order can get very high, but the cool thing about it is as you bid for turn order, you place your cattle, which again is basically like the money, on cards assigned to each player. So if you're bidding 3 cattle in a 3-player game, every person in that game is going to get 1 of your cattle. And then the next person may bid 4 cattle. So they're going to distribute the cattle accordingly as well. So it's kind of like a weird redistribution of wealth during the game. So you're not just giving your money to the bank, you're giving it to other players to go first. So that was kind of a neat aspect of it. And then during the main phase of the game, you're basically given the option to choose gods or specialists, again, which are going to give you abilities during the game. And you, during the game, will put out craftsmen. And what these craftsmen do is provide goods to yourself and to other players during the game. And the reason you want these goods is because you're going to be using goods to build or upgrade monuments. So the way you build a monument is, if it's a level 1 monument, it costs 0 goods. If it's a level 2 monument, it costs 1 unique good. A level 3 monument, 2 unique goods, and so on. So that's why the resources become important, because people during the game, only 1 person can use each resource that turn. So as the board fills up, you need more unique goods to upgrade, and it becomes tricky because there's a way you can kind of build like logistical hubs to chain resources to your particular monument, because it has to be within a certain range to upgrade. So it's really unique mechanically. I like the fact of how the turn order worked with the bidding, the way you have to logistically build your hubs, and I really like the variable win conditions. The person who actually won in our game took a god that, instead of giving them a special ability and increased their victory point requirement, had no special ability, but it decreased their victory point requirement. So it was kind of neat. It had a lot of strategy and a lot of tactics to it as well.
And were you playing real time?
Yes.
So
Okay,
that's what I was asking. I've never played on, you said it's play.boardgamecore.net?
It's boardgamecore.net, and
Okay.
it's the only place where I've really seen that they have the bigger Splotter games.
Okay.
on there.
And this is so you're playing in real time, but is it have like an AI built in it, does everything for you, or is it like Tabletop Simulator where you have to know the rules?
You do not have to know the rules. It won't let you break them. It is asynchronous play on the site.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, it's a smaller site, the boardgamecore.net. I think like one guy programs it, so it doesn't have a lot of some of like the bells and whistles that some of the other sites have. It would be more akin to something like Yukata, but the rules are kind of baked in, so you really can't break it.
Okay. All right, cool. I have not found that site. I will go check it out.
Yeah, so that's the Great Zimbabwe.
Awesome. And I think that's it for our recent plays, right? Anyone else I want to mention? All right, I will mention one more. My wife and I, we did pull out Eclipse Second Dawn for the Galaxy, Kirk, and we got another play into that.
Nice.
That's fun. That's really good. I'm still that's coming up on my list of games. But I think if I get a few more plays into it, it may actually break into my top 10. That is
Excellent.
that is fun. It's a long game, but it's fun. You have to really make some tough decisions in that one. So
How was it with 2 players?
Pretty good. It's one of those things where you can tell, like, okay, I can look at her board. I can tell, okay, she's already taken the move action, so she can't move this turn, so I'm safe to move her here and do this. Other than the reaction, which is much weaker. But so you can kind of plan, like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I know I'm safe. Where in like a 4-player game, okay, maybe 3 of the people that have moved, 1 hasn't, and that person can move in and attack you before the end, and so you're not sure where you spend your resources. Where this one, you can kind of tell what's going on, and then when the combat did finally start happening, it was we kind of knew it was going to happen. It was like, okay, I can see you're all geared up, ready to go. So am I. Here, and we're going into battle. Here we go. So. Anyway, yeah. So that was I can't wait to get some more plays into that one. That was a lot of fun. Has not beat out Scythe though. Scythe's still my favorite, but it's getting closer. All right, guys. So that's our recent plays. Let's jump right into some board game news.
Welcome to Game Bits, where we cover the latest pieces of gaming news.
All right, first in the news tonight, we have a game that maybe some of you have heard of, just a little bit. It's called Frosthaven. This is the sequel to Gloomhaven. It's a standalone game, and it is on Kickstarter right now. As of the recording of this podcast on April Fool's Day, there are 29 days left, so by the end of April here, you need to get in on it. Right now, they have hit their funding goal. Their funding goal was $500,000. They have past that tenfold. They're at $5.5 million now. It's insane. So, and it's still climbing right this moment. They have 38,214 backers as of right now.
Gosh, that's insane to think that there's that many people interested in playing that game.
Yeah, it is. It's a very, very popular game. And but if you don't have the cash to put in to play Frosthaven, I'm back it on Kickstarter. A couple things. One, there is a Frosthaven demo out there, right, Mike?
Yeah. Right on the Steam Tabletop Simulator. If you own the game and you go into your library and open the game, you can go to Workshop. And on the Workshop, if you click there, Workshops, it's where you can download and subscribe to games. It's the #1 most popular demo, right on the top list of most popular games right now.
That was something that took me a while to figure out, was the whole Workshop demo stuff in Tabletop Simulator. Like, I log in, I start looking at games, and I'm like, all I see is checkers and chess, and where are all these games everybody's talking about? I'm like, oh, you got to go to the Workshop, you got to subscribe to the game, and then it shows up. So there you go, folks. There's somebody needs to do a quick demo of that and show that in a video. Maybe I should do that.
Actually, that probably would be pretty good, like a quick tutorial.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because so many people logging in right now. I should do a quick demo of how to do that, because that took me a while to figure out. All right, so something else going on with the Frosthaven, and I didn't even tell you guys this, but the Game and Party podcast is going to be giving away a free copy of Frosthaven.
Ooh, Wow.
Yes. Yep. So we are going to be putting up a contest. We're going to have it on our YouTube page and on our website here coming up soon. But some lucky listener or some lucky watcher of our YouTube channel is going to win a free copy of Frosthaven from us. So stay tuned for some more details from that. I'll put out a link on that coming up soon.
I was going to ask, what do you have to do? Or that's to be determined. You can cut this out, I guess.
Hey,
So
what's today's date? What's today's date?
It's April 1st, but this is not April Fool's. This is for real. So to enter it, you'll have several things. So for every one of these things that you do, you get basically your name in the raffle for it. Things like subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Facebook page, or like our Facebook page, comment on us, tweet us, things like that. So if you do those things, all those social media things, you can get multiple entries into the contest.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. So I'll be sending it out hopefully by the end of this week. So keep an eye out for that. So Frosthaven, you may win a free copy of it.
How about that?
Yep. So, all right, moving on. Next thing on Tabletop Simulator. Something else is going on Tabletop Simulator. People want teachers out there. Has any of you guys ever taught a game on Tabletop Simulator?
Just the
I
one?
haven't.
Just once. Yep.
Okay, just that one. All right. So apparently there's lots of people out there who want teachers out there, like Scythe. I enjoy playing Scythe, and I enjoy teaching it. I have not taught it online, though, so that'll be interesting. But if you are someone who likes teaching games and you're on Tabletop Simulator, there are a ton of people, because it's blown up now with lots of people online playing due to the social distancing. And if you enjoy teaching games and you're not on Tabletop Simulator, go check it out. You may be able to help out some people and teach some games and bring more people into the hobby.
Yeah, I think that's a big need, because we tried to pull up a game that everyone played once. We pulled up The Crown of Amara, and everyone's like, yeah, I kind of remember how to play. Does anyone really remember? And we were like, let's play Great Western Trail, because we don't know how to play. It's like, is this set up right? I don't know.
Oh, that stinks.
Erica,
So teachers are important.
Too.
They have brass. I could teach that. I played Lancashire, too, so I can do both now.
Oh, really?
I finally got to play that.
How does that compare to Birmingham?
It's still really good. I like Birmingham better, but that may be just because I'm biased and I love it to death. But I think that you could own both and play both. They're different enough that I think there's still interest in both games.
That's cool. Nice. All right, and the last thing in the news is there's another app out also, and this is Sagrada. Sagrada is out on, I think it's on iOS, Android, and on Steam now. I know it's definitely on Steam. So Sagrada has been released now. There was a time where it was on pre-release, and I checked it out. Plays just like the game. It's great. It's and this is not on Tabletop Simulator. This is actually an app for it, so it does all the work for you and all the math and everything, all that kind of stuff. So Sagrada is out. So if you like that game, check it out on the app. All right, so that's it for our news tonight. So we want to mention one more time, guys. Just make sure you are social distancing. Make sure you are washing your hands, stop touching your face, stay away from people, stay 6 feet away from people. If you're going to go out, make sure it's something that you have to go out for. Go into the grocery store, things like that. If you're cooped up in the house, you don't feel like being cooped up in the house, go for a walk. Now, good question for you guys. How many walks have you guys gone for since you've been cooped up in the house?
I run every morning, so
well, I know you do, but I'm talking about like normally I don't take a walk around my neighborhood. Like I'll go to the gym, but I have not been going to the gym because the social distancing. But I don't usually take walks around the neighborhood. Every night, my wife and I take a walk now, and it's getting longer and longer. Like last night, we walked 2 miles.
See, that's nice though.
Yeah, it's really great until the hurricane started last night. Just about. We had some. Did you guys feel those winds last night?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah, we were outside walking, and all of a sudden it just hits, and we were like, it feels like a tornado. And we were walking 1 mile from the house and 1 mile back. We were right at the 1 mile mark, so we were the farthest from the house when it hits. And we started heading back. We got back just before the rain hit. It was crazy. But yes, we've been taking walks. I'm like, you want to take a walk? You want to go for a walk? We'll go for a walk just to get out of the house. Just do something. So yeah, that's okay. Social distancing is not going to stop you from going out and taking a walk. Just don't walk in big groups and stay away from people. So
yes.
All right, so that is it for our news tonight. And let's talk about our fun fact for the evening. Last time we had a fun fact on our episode before last. Someone on this podcast makes chainmail or knows how to make chainmail, apparently. Would the person who knows how to make chainmail please stand up?
That's me. And I
What?
know how to make it. I don't make it anymore because it is hard work. I mean, I didn't realize how hard it was. So when I learned how to make it.
You know, we no longer live in a society where you need that kind of armor.
Well, now would be the time to do it because we have a lot of free time. But
Yeah, it's not the most useful armor nowadays. You're right. Bulletproof vest is probably better.
you can make, we talked about juggling one time. I have juggling balls that are made of chainmail. So I think you can make fun stuff too. But
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I learned how to make it. And the quickest way that I found is you can just buy some heavy gauge wire and wrap it around some type of pipe or rebar. And you're basically making like a spring. So you have these circles. And then it becomes really tough because then you have to cut each circle out. And I used wire cutters at the time. There might be a better tool, but it's like one little ring at a time. And then you have your little rings, and then you have to bend each little ring to make sure it's like a perfect circle using pliers. And then you can weave it into whatever you want to make, like a bag or a shirt. But again, it's hard work because you're cutting each individual wire with wire cutters. And my hands were raw anytime I've tried to do it because you're cutting hundreds and hundreds of rings, and then you still have to make it into something. So it's a lot of work, but it's a really cool hobby and pretty rewarding once you have something that you're done with. Like I said, my favorite thing I have is they're basically little juggling balls. So they're pretty cool.
So it sounds like it's just really hardcore crocheting.
Yes, it's very, very hardcore manly crocheting, I guess.
I have never made chainmail, never attempted. That sounds amazing. I'd love to see your juggling balls that you made. But I can imagine that sounds like really tough work. I think when my mom loves to crochet. That's her thing, and she makes quilts. And when I was a kid, I don't know, I was probably like 12. I was like, I want to crochet something. And Mom's like, okay, she teaches me how to do it, and I'm like, I'm gonna crochet a blanket. Sweet. And I get all the way across one line, all the way back another line, all the way back another. I'm like, oh my god, this doesn't take forever. And I only got like, I don't know, 5 or 6 lines in, and I was like, I stopped. I was like, okay, it's a scarf.
Oh, I thought you made a pot holder. That seemed to be customary.
It's like it was long, but it was just skinny, But I was like, all right, it's a scarf now, done.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff just takes a lot of patience that I don't have, I guess.
Yeah.
Like to sit and do the same thing again and again.
Same here. I could not do that. Oh, but. Okay, guys. So we are going to be playing a board game online, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
that's it.
So next Wednesday, 6:30 p.m., we're getting online on Tabletop Simulator, playing a game. We're not sure which game yet. We'll let you guys know. But we're going to be playing games on Tabletop Simulator. So we have a game to talk about on the show, and we can basically review it together and talk about it together. So
Sweet.
looking forward to that. All right. Erica, Charlie, Kirk, any last minute words of wisdom before we sign off?
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Yes.
Stay away from people.
Have fun. Stay positive.
Yes.
We'll get through it.
We'll be back to gaming soon.
Exactly. Sneeze into your elbow, not in your hand.
Vampire sneeze.
Vampire sneeze, exactly. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to the Game and Party podcast. You guys have a great night. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Game and Party podcast. You'll find more about us at gameandparty.com, like links to our Facebook page, to our Twitter, Instagram, and to our YouTube channel. If you're in the Northeast Florida area, join our meetup group and come game with us. We'll talk to you next week.